Good day to all. I am Irma Joy Agustin from Group 1 of 4NU1, reporting our thesis entitled Therapeutic Communication Techniques of Student Nurses Against Hindrances in Communication with Geriatric Patients. According to Redfred of the year 2006, geriatrics are the patients who are difficult to deal with because they are in the stage wherein psychological, physical, emotional, and social changes occur. Therefore, limiting the nurses in assessing the patient and doing implementation more difficult. The student nurses and geriatric patients have the difficulty in communication with each other. It's because of the hindrances that affects their communication. But because of the therapeutic communication techniques used by the student nurses, they were able to communicate well with the geriatric patients. The study aims to determine the factors that affects the student nurses in communicating with the geriatric patients, and also knowing the therapeutic communication techniques used while interacting with them. The researchers gathered respondents which have the criteria of student nurses that had duty in geriatric facilities. Then, they were given questionnaires with such questions on slow comprehensive geriatrics, cognitive behavior geriatrics, sensory impairment, and hearing impairment geriatrics. Then, after the questionnaire, the data was being analyzed by tallying each of the data. After that, the result was being yielded. Slow comprehension yielded 65% as the lowest percentage. Then, hearing impairment 71%, sensory impairment with 83%, and cognitive behavior with 95%. For the hearing impairment, therapeutic communication techniques are being used by the student nurses. The most common are active listening, acknowledgement, offering self, encouraging description of perception, and encouraging of evaluation. And for the speech impairment, therapeutic communication techniques that are being used by the student nurses, example of them are active listening, evaluation of guidelines, acknowledgement, reflecting, consensual validation, offering self, encouraging evaluation of perceptions, and encouraging of evaluation. Another is slow comprehension. Therapeutic communication techniques are being used by the student nurses. Example of them are active listening is also one of them, consensual validation, silence, evaluating guidelines, encouraging evaluation, open-ended questions, and offering self. The last is challenging behavior. Therapeutic communication techniques that are being used by the student nurses are active listening, focusing, offering self, encouraging description of perceptions, and encouraging evaluation. The study aims to come up to a conclusion that student nurses have difficulty in communication with geriatric patients. The hearing impairment, most communication technique that are being used by the student nurses is silence. For the sensory impairment, listening and offer self. And for slow comprehensive, offer self and encouraging evaluation. And for the cognitive behavior, the most therapeutic communication technique that is being used by the student nurses are recognizing and encouraging. The recommendations are study and communication skills of students. Second is to strengthen the aspect of communication skills of the students. The third, analysis of appropriate therapeutic communication skills of student nurses. Fourth is the development of sensitivity and awareness to both nonverbal and verbal therapeutic communication skills. Fourth, standard communication for geriatric patients. And the last is good therapeutic communication skills for the student nurses. Thank you. Once again, I am Irma Joy M. Agustin, Group 1 of 4NU1, signing off. Vote for us.